Hey guys, welcome to day 2 of your coaching. So today we're going to talk all about protein. And if you stay till the end, I'll give you some recommendations on how you could apply all this to your specific lifestyle and in your specific journey. So first of all, protein is one of the most popular topics out there in regards to building muscle, burning fat. I think it's like sometimes even considered like the magic macronutrient. Um, and the thing is, because protein could really benefit your progress during this journey. Having a high protein diet is really beneficial towards your goal, where they're either building muscle or burning body fat. Another thing that I gotta really address is protein is one of our essential macronutrients. That means that we ultimately need protein to survive. It's not like, for example, with carbs, we could live without having carbs in our system. Protein is something that's essential. I'm not saying that I would recommend living without having carbs, but with protein in particular, our body ultimately needs it because what it uses protein for is basically to repair tissues within your body. Now, I talked a little bit about macronutrients. When we're looking at macronutrients, these are the big building blocks of what of the nutrients that a lot of our foods or of what we consume have. Like, for example, foods ultimately they provide calories, which is the energy that they provide for our body, but they also provide macronutrients and micronutrients. Macronutrients, we're looking at proteins, carbs, and fats, and sometimes even alcohol. Ethanol is considered a fourth macronutrient, but we're mainly going to address protein, carbs, and fats. So, like I said, what our body utilizes protein for is it's highly needed in repair of tissue for your body. In particular, if you want to rebuild and replenish muscle tissue within your body needs an adequate amount of protein to actually do that. Now, studies have shown that having a higher protein intake is better than having a moderate or even a low protein diet. Um, Best research out there shows that roughly around 0.8 to 0.8 grams of protein per pound in per weight in pounds is necessary for our specific body, but there is a variance to this. Whenever I'm working with a client, we're looking at 0.6 to 1.1 gram of protein per weight. And you got to take into account this is lean body weight. So we're taking into account your body fat percent. We don't want to look too much into your body fat percentage. Now, if you are a man that's under 15% body fat, or if you are a woman that's roughly under 22, 23% body fat, you could use these numbers with your specific weight. You could use 0.6 to 1.1 gram of protein per your weight. If you're someone that's more on the overweight and higher than that 15% body fat for a man, higher than the 23% body fat for a woman, maybe even higher than the 25% body fat, you'll probably be looking at 0.8, 0.6 to 1.1 grams per lean body weight. So you want to subtract your body fat percentage from your total weight and use that specific number. Um, Now, to be honest, this is also individualized. What I see whenever I work with the client is that a lot of times we underconsume protein, so we want to boost that up a little bit. But we also want to see how it reflects to with how you feel, how your body's digesting it. So there is an individual variance to that that's necessary that we look into whenever I'm coaching a client. Now there's no science out there that supports an extreme amount of protein, and I've seen some bodybuilder protocols that go up to even 1.5 to 2 grams per weight. Um, it I don't there's no science that supports that it has any benefit to your progress. And actually it does provide, I see a lot of people that do end up having digestive problems because of a too high amounts of protein. So you got to take that into account and adjust accordingly. Um, Now, I've seen also some clients get some great results with a lower amount of protein. And that's why I say there's an individual variance. I've had clients where we had to lower the amount of protein that they were intaking because they were feeling too full and they weren't able to eat enough food. And because we brought that down, they were still able to see results. So you want to find that sweet spot for your specific body and your specific lifestyle. Some things that you want to take a look at is how do you feel? How's your digestion? because these are ultimately going to play a big role in how that protein's affecting you. If you feel that you're nauseous, you have stomach aches, if you feel off, if you feel extra tired, if you start developing digestive issues, that might mean we might be having too much protein, and we might need to lower that down, or we might need to look at your fiber intake as well to make sure that that's high enough. Certain things like that is what we look into when we're actually within our coaching program. Animal sources are usually some of the best sources of protein because they have complete amino acid profiles. Basically, amino acids are the building blocks of protein. We usually find that animal proteins have both essential and non-essential amino acids that are necessary for our body. Stuff like beef, chicken, eggs, fish, and dairy, if you could tolerate them. Protein supplements are okay, but they're not necessary. What I usually try to recommend is try to hit all your macros, all your carbs, fats, and proteins through foods, through whole foods. Now, when it becomes hard, when it becomes difficult to get to the limit that you're trying to get to, that's when you add a supplement like a powder. But you also want to take into account that protein powder is highly processed. So you want to take into account how that affects your body's digestive system. Protein's also a very satiating macronutrient, which means it keeps you fuller, it keeps you satisfied. So what we tend to see is a high protein diet reduces appetite a lot more than a high fat diet, and certainly more than a high carb diet. Protein also has a higher thermogenic effect. So when we look at how our body actually utilizes energy, there's a certain amount of percentage of energy that our body uses to actually process and digest and take all the nutrients out of the foods that we eat. This is called the thermic effect of food. Usually we see that percentage goes up with a higher protein diet. But we also got to take into account that that's not a huge percentage of our total daily energy expenditure, but that's another benefit of why protein would benefit you during this process. So what I would recommend you do right now is take a look at your protein intake. You could take a look at what you're eating throughout the day. Take a look at if you actually have enough protein throughout the day. I would recommend probably taking some pictures, doing a picture diary, and assessing, am I having protein with each and every meal? And the first step you could take is just literally by adding some protein in each and every meal. Then you could take that extra approach and download MyFitnessPal, download the tracker, actually see where your protein intake is at, compare that to where it should be, and find ways to optimize it, whether it be by adding more food, by utilizing a protein powder, or using another protocol to enhance the aspect of you're actually getting more protein. By this video, you know why this is so important for during this process, whether it is you're building muscle or burning fat. Other than that, guys, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I'll catch you next time. We're going to look at carbs. Bye.